Here are 5 symptoms of becoming more spiritually aware. Hey guys, it's John sitting here in my living room drinking a beautiful mug of water. It is the mid afternoon, about 4 o'clock, and I thought I'd hop on and make this video for you. I think it's a great topic. A lot of people are going through a lot of spiritual awakening or spiritual awareness broadening right now. I I tend to prefer the word awareness over awakening because I don't think we're waking up from something. I think we're becoming more aware of our divinity, and more of our divinity is being explored or experienced because we are becoming more aware. I don't consider that an awakening. Here are 5 symptoms of becoming more spiritually aware. The first is this idea of heightened awareness and sensitivity. Most people who are becoming more spiritually aware are literally coming from a place of having more empathy. They're feeling what people are feeling around them. They're listening more. They're feeling more um, compassion for the people around them. And one of the things that happens within that, and one of the symptoms of this, is the more they become aware, the less emotional they are about it. Because what happens is they come to understand that the person is going through something in their life and it's their journey, but it doesn't have to be yours as well. The spiritually aware understand that that's theirs and not mine. And so they come and they listen and they hear and they experience the feeling of it, but they don't invest in it or get harmed by it or weep or cry for it. They broaden past that and say, okay, how can I alleviate this fear? They become more in service because their awareness is more clear, because they're not reacting to emotions. They're feeling the emotions and then acting to overcome the fears that the emotions are coming from. And so it comes down to the idea of uh, becoming not only more heightened awareness of what's going on around you, but less reactive. So one of the symptoms is you'll start to find yourself listening more, experiencing more, but not running away like a freight train because of an emotion that's not yours. You become much more aware of it. Um, Another symptom is you start to find yourself being more introspective. You start to listen to what you're saying about your life. You're starting to think of, think about the things in your life that molded who you are in the present, and the things that you want to change, and the things that you are changing, and the things that you're creating. You become much more introspective. In one of my regressions, Jeshua said, when you seek a path is laid before you, but until you turn the path back to yourself, you never find the doorway. Going inside, becoming introspective, finding out what you believe about things, choosing what you believe about things, creating what you believe about things, you become much more aware of what you think, both consciously and subconsciously, because you're now looking at it from a dispassionate perspective. You're looking at it and goes, oh, that's what I was believing. Oh, I can change that. I can shift my belief to something new and create something different. And it comes down to that being introspective, or having a lot more self-reflection. It's a beautiful experience, because now you're going, oh, I understand why I did that. I understand why I've had these relationships in my life. I understand why I've been living as a victim to my experience. I understand why I'm so negative or so positive. Right? You start to understand the reasons why, and you start to come to comprehend that the reasons why um, are just a part of your journey. And now you're going to grab the wheel and steer the rest of your journey. So that introspection is a symptom of spiritual awareness. In both of these first symptoms, there is a sense of emotional purging. We start to have those moments where our emotions bubble out. We watch a movie, we bawl crying. We start to have just emotions just bubbling out of us. And what happens is you start to realize that it's natural for those things to come out of us, but they are coming out of us. And in coming out of us, we can start to purge the things in life that's made us had those feelings. And I'm not talking about go back and dig into your past and do all that. Let it all flow out of you naturally as you choose to create a more joyful and empowered life. What happens is those moments, I'm sure some of you have this experience where you remember something from your past, but you remember the entire emotional experience of it. Even it might be something you did that you thought you were being dumb at the time, but you'll have a complete awareness about how you felt in that moment. Those things start to bubble up. You start to have those experiences. Oh, and you quit. You flinch at what you might have done 20 years ago, right? Those things are coming up and coming out because you're releasing. Your awareness is broadening, and those fear-based reactions that are still in your body, in your core, bubble out, and they purge themselves just by you making new conscious choices in the present to do something different than you did in the past. And so one of the symptoms is you'll start to have this experience of memories of the past will have the full-blown emotion that you had at the time in the present. As these purges happen, you'll come to the next symptom of a spiritual awareness process, and that is inner peace and happiness or stillness. You'll find this place where you're just okay. A lot of my friends are always amazed because I have no problem getting up and going and watching a movie in the movie theater by myself. I have no problem going and seeing a show, or I like being a loner. To be a loner like that is to have complete confidence in yourself and have that inner peace where you're not worried about what somebody else is thinking or going to say about you. You're not worried if they'll love you or not. You're not worried about anything in the outer world because you're just confident in who you are and what you're being. And you live into that sort of lifestyle, you get more peaceful. You get more inner stillness because you're not, striving to find something to validate who you are. You're just being who you are, and you need no validation. So that stillness, that peace comes as a natural part of your awakening to a greater awareness of your spirituality. The last of the five symptoms is you naturally become less materialistic. You release the interest for materialism. You don't find you need to have the latest iPhone or the newest car or the best house or the latest technology that is, you find that you don't have those desires anymore, you know and you break free of this space of looking for validation through material things because you don't need validation anymore. And that's why you have that stillness of mind, because you don't need that validation anymore. And both of those are just, trying to look powerful, or in most cases, it's an example of the fear of not being loved. You're doing all the things to make you cool, so you get the cool experience from people say how great they love your car, or your house, and as you do this idea of releasing that materialism and coming back to that inner peace, you start to purge out all those emotions even faster. All those old past emotions that come up, they get less and less because they're all usually based in some material thing that's happening at the time. And so it kind of breaks free naturally as a symptom. And all of that comes back to that self-reflection and introspection, where you're looking at who you are, what you believe, what do you need, what do you want, what are you desiring in your life. All of these other symptoms are stemming from these earlier ones. This idea of not needing anything is literally coming from the introspection of who am I? I don't need anything to validate myself. And this heightened awareness and sensitivity, it's because you're not thinking about the material things. You're not thinking about keeping up with Mr. and Mrs. Jones, or trying to have the best of so people think you're cool. You just are, and you just live that life. And in that, you get that greater awareness of others because you're not stuck in your own junk. you're able to be more aware of what the people around you are going through. And that gives you that greater awareness and a symptom of that heightened awareness of what's going on around you. So these 5 things: heightened awareness and sensitivity, introspection and self-reflection, emotional purging, a sense of inner peace or stillness, and loss of interest in materialism. These are the 5 symptoms, or 5 of the symptoms, of you broadening into a greater spiritual awareness, and, or as many of you would say, a spiritual awakening. And it's a good thing when you see these signs, recognize them and acknowledge them as symptoms of you growing into a greater awareness of yourself, stepping into your divinity. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.